Thank you. Then this is to do with cubic functions. Lilosa, you said you haven't done P3 yet, not started. Confirm you said you had not started P3 or you had done certain topics.
We had done certain topics.
Okay, this is algebra. I'm sure you had done that. The cubic polynomial x cubed plus 8x plus b is denoted by px. It is given that x minus 1 is a factor of p of x. And that p of x is divided by, when divided by that, leaves the remainder of that. Find the values of the constant, what? 5 marks. So if x minus, if this is a factor here, it means x minus 1 is equal to 0. It means x is equal to 1. What it means, if I plug in x is equal to 1 here, I should get 0. Do you agree? Because this is a factor here. So if I plug x is equal to 1 into this p of x, I should get what? I should get 0. So now that means we're saying p of 1, we plug 1 into that expression ax cubed. We're saying 1 to the power of 3 plus ax plus b, a brackets 1 plus b should give me 0. So that's 1 plus a plus b should give me 0, which means a plus b is equal to minus 1. I have my first equation. Is that making sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, if it's giving you a remainder, it means we're saying x plus 1 equal to 0. So we are working with the factor x is equal to minus 1. But this time it's not giving you 0. It's giving you a remainder of negative 6. So when we plug in minus 1, we get a remainder of negative 6. Okay, so we don't get 0. This gives us a remainder of 0. It's a complete factor. So it means p of negative 1. We are saying negative 1 to the power of 3 plus a multiplied by negative 1 plus b should give us minus 6. It doesn't give us 0. Now, negative to the power of an odd number remains negative, minus 1. Minus a plus b is equal to minus 6. Then take that the other side. So we have minus a plus b is equal to, take negative 1 the other side, it becomes minus 6 plus 1. Therefore, minus a plus b is equal to negative 5. So this is our second equation. Abby?
Yes,
so
sir.
if we want, we can join the two equations together, or we can use substitution. It's up to you. We've got a plus b giving us negative 1. First equation. Add the two equations. This gives you 0. This gives you 2b is equal to minus 6. Therefore, b is equal to negative 3. But we said a plus b. A plus b was equal to minus 1, which means a is equal to minus 1 minus b. So that's simply minus 1 minus 3, which is simply equal to 2. Clear? Are we together? Are you guys there? Yeah, very quiet.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this I'm not sure how far you have done this. Expand x minus 1 to the power of fn in ascending powers up to the term involving what? X cubed, yeah? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So if you check your booklet,
Yes.
your booklet is something like this here. Go and check your booklet. There's something like 1 plus, in the general formula I can form it here. I think there's something like 1 plus x here to the power of n being equal to 1 plus nx. You check your formula booklet. n minus 1 to the power of x squared all over 2 factorial plus n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 2, something like that, over 3 factorial multiplied by x cubed. Then it continues like that. Is that correct? Is there the formula that I'm talking about? In your booklet, do you agree? That the formula is there in your booklet. And I think we have lost Anne, so I'm not sure what's happening. So just to show you how this works, this formula here works as long as this is 1. So if you are given something like this, before we look at the question, if you are given something like 2 plus, let's say, 5x to the power of, let's say, a quarter. This is not consistent with this here. Well, this has to be 1 here. So what it means is, to show you what you do here, is you divide everything inside here by 2. So that this is 1 plus 5 over 5x over 2 like this. Then you take the 2 outside. What happens? Yeah, there. Then you take the 2 outside. Then you raise that 2 to the power of this power, to the power of a quarter here. Then this to the power of a quarter. But don't worry about that. We'll look at questions. Let's just look at the simple question. I simply wanted to show you something. Oh, I'll apply that. So there we have 1 minus x to the power of a third. That's actually very easy. 1 minus 3x to the power of 1 over 3. So according to your formula, it's 1 plus nx. It means this multiplied by that. So we're saying minus 3x multiplied by 1 over 3. That's nx. Plus, now we are saying, according to your book, it's n multiplied by nx, if I'm correct. So that's 1 over 3 multiplied by, what's a third minus 1? Is that negative 2/3? A third minus 1, check the formula book, that's negative 2/3, divided by 2 factorial.
Yes.
Multiply by, you square this here, minus 3x squared. Plus, now I want to go to the x cubed term. This 1 over 3 multiplied by negative 2/3. Then you subtract negative. You continue subtracting. If you subtract negative 1 here, what's minus 2 over 3 minus 1? So my calculator, what do you get? You are increasing in the negative direction. Is that correct? You can check your calculator, that should be minus 5 over 2. Divided by 3 factorial. Multiplied by, in brackets, negative 3 to the power of 3.
So it will be minus 5 over 3.
Minus
Not
5
2.
over 3 also. Correct. Minus 5 over 3. Clear? Now let's simplify. You can use your calculators. This gives you 1. This is a negative here. 3 cancels that. Then you've got a minus x. What about this here? You can use your calculator. What's 1 over 3 times negative 2/3 divided by 2 factorial? Use your calculators. Divided 2 factorial is 2 times 1. Use your calculator. Are you getting minus 1 over 9? But you can use your calculators. Is that what you're getting? Minus 1 over 9.
Yes.
So then if I square this here, it's 9x squared.
Yes, sir.
9x squared. You see this one here gives us 9x squared. So the 9 cancels here, and I'm simply left with negative x squared. Then do this in a calculator here. 1/3 multiplied by negative 2/3 multiplied by negative 5 over 3 divided by 3 factorial. What do you get?
Get 5 over 81.
5 over
81.
Then multiply that. If you square this here, you get minus 27 x cubed. So what is 5 over 81 times minus 27? It's negative what?
Negative 5 over 3.
Yeah, done. Are we together?
Yes.
Is that making sense? So, let me twist the question here. If I had solved this here, let's say this is 4 plus 2x to the power of half. And we want this up to a term involving x cubed again. So now this is not consistent with the formula because the formula says 1 plus n. This has to be 1. So to do that, I divide everything inside here by 4. So that this is 1 divided by 2 over 4 to the power of x. Then that 4 that I'm dividing, it's like I'm figuring out, I put the 4 here. The only difference is that 4 has to be affected by this power. So that's what you should not forget. So it's 4 to the power of half. Then this thing to the power of half. That's the first correction we'll do. Then 4 to the power of half is what? Is 2.
Sure.
Square root of 2. Yes. Brackets 1 plus half x to the power of what? Half.
Half.
Then this here we can ignore it or we can apply it later. So this is equal to 2 brackets, 2 multiplies everything that. So then we apply now 1 plus nx. So 1 plus nx is this multiplied by that. So half multiplied by half x. Plus, now we're saying n multiplied by n minus 1. So that's half multiplied by, what's half minus 1? Minus half, divided by 2 what? Factorial. Then this is always squared. So it's a half x squared. Then the last term, we do that part. Then we subtract negative 1. If we subtract negative 1 from minus half, what do you get? Negative half minus 1. And then minus 3 over 2.
Oh, yeah.
Divided by 3 factorial. Multiplied by half x to the power of 3. Close brackets. Then that's 2 brackets. This is 1. Half plus half. Half times half, that's a quarter. So a quarter x. Then simplify this here. Half times minus half divided by 2 factorial. What do you get? Half times minus half divided by 2 factorial. What do you get?
Negative.
Negative?
1/8.
Correct, 1/8. Then we multiply by, if we square this here, it's x squared. If we square this, that's a quarter. So we're multiplying by a quarter there. So we get minus 1 over 32 x squared. Because we squared this here. This is a quarter x squared. Then simplify this here, half times minus half times negative 3 over 2 divided by 3 factorial. What do you get? Half times minus half times negative 3 over 2 divided by 3 factorial.
1/16.
1 over 6. Multiply by, remember 1 squared, so 1 over 2 cubed is 8 x cubed. So we're saying 1 over that multiplied by that. So that's a positive. What do you get? 1 over 16 times 1 over 8. So 1 over what?
128.
1 over 128 x cubed. But we are not done. Now let's multiply everything by 2, like what I said, that's the final thing. So the final answer is 2 plus, if I multiply 2 times a quarter, that's half x multiply by 2 minus 1 over 16 x cubed. Multiply by 2, that's 1 over 64 x cubed. Are we together? That's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next one. The polynomial x to the power of 4, I'm sure, plus 4x squared plus x plus a is denoted by px. It is given that this is a factor. If this is a factor, remember I said when we divide, we get the remainder of what? Remainder of 0. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
X squared plus x plus 2 is a factor of this. Can this be factorized here? The x squared plus x plus, can that be factorized?
By x.
Can we factorize it? Is it possible? This is a plus 2 here. 2 terms that when you multiply, we get 2. When you add, you get 1. It's not possible. No, we can't. But what this simply means is when we divide here, this into that, we can't get a remainder. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
We can't get a
Remainder.
So now, we can do polynomial divisions. I'm sure you know that. So we have x to the power of 4. Is that correct? That x to the power of 4, or your paper says what? X to the power of 4. I'm assuming that I can't see properly. Plus, I don't know. I think something to do with the font is a bit too small. Plus x plus a. So now if we divide this, we should not get a remainder. X squared plus x plus 2. Then we say x squared into that, into x to the power 4 is x squared. Then we multiply, we get x to the power of 4, happy. Then we multiply this, we get plus x what? Cubed. Yeah? Then we multiply, we get plus 2x squared. Then we subtract, happy. So if we subtract here, we get 0. Then here, there is nothing to do with x cubed, so we bring that down, becomes a negative x cubed. Then this is 4x squared minus that, that's a plus 2x squared. Then we bring down the x, there's nothing to subtract, the a, nothing to subtract. Happy?
Yes,
Then we
sir.
say x cubed into this here, we get minus x. And then we multiply, we get negative x cubed multiply minus 2x squared. That's correct. Multiply minus 2x. Abby? Like then we subtract. So if we subtract, this becomes a positive. This is now 0. This will be negative, because here I'm saying 2x minus 2x becomes a 2x plus that. So it becomes 3x squared. Then they were saying x minus here it also becomes positive plus 3x. Because I'm saying x minus 2x, that's a positive 3x. Then we bring down the a. As it is happy. Then we now say x into that is plus 3. Then we multiply, we get 3x squared. We're multiplying by x, by 3, sorry. So if you multiply by 3 plus 3x, I'm sure you see what's happening. Then if you multiply by 3, you get what? Plus 6. Heavy?
Yes, sir.
Like that. Subtract, you get 0. Subtract here, you get 0. Subtract here, you get a minus what? Minus 6. But we say there is no remainder. So this should be 0 here. So it means a is equal to what?
Plus 6.
6. That's clear? Polynomials. And find the other quadratic. So we are not done. We now know. So we now need to find the other quadratic. So it's easy to get the point. We now know that a is equal to 6. We know this. Then we also know that this goes into that. So what we are simply saying is we are saying x squared plus x plus 2 multiplied by another quadratic function should give us our term, which is x to the power of 4, x to the power of 4 plus 4x squared, 4x squared plus
X plus A.
yeah. Then what we want is to, or a, we now know a is 6, by the way. So now we now know a. So what we want is to find these terms here, all these unknowns. To find c is the easiest thing. It's just last term times last term. So 2c is equal to 6. Therefore, the c is 3 straight away here. Now, to find a, what you can do is just by observation. If I multiply this term here by that term, I get a x to the power of 4. Now, then I have to think, is there any other term where I get an x to the power of 4? This gives you x cubed. This gives you x squared. This gives you x cubed. So it's the only term that gives us that. Clear? So 8, that is equal to x to the power of 4. Therefore, a is simply equal to 1. It's simply an x squared. Then the middle term now is where we want to find the b. So again, if we multiply, okay, this gives us x to the power of 4, this doesn't. So the first term does not help us. Let's see with the x here. If we multiply x, multiply by the middle term, we get bx squared.
Okay.
Then if we also multiply this here by that, we get plus 2ax squared. So those are the only terms here that give us an x squared term. So that is equal to the middle term here, 4x squared. But we know what a is. A is 1. So we're saying bx squared plus 2x squared is equal to 4x squared. Divide the x squared, b plus 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, b is equal to minus what? Minus 2. So the quadratic equation is x squared minus 2x plus 3. Clear? That's the other quadratic factor or term. Are we happy?
Yes, sir.
Now solve these 3 marks. 2x, 9 minus 2x is less than or equal to 1. 9 minus 2x modulus, I think less than 1 only. Okay. So again, I said you square both sides to remove the modulus. 1 squared. Then take square root of both sides. So 9 minus 2x is less than square root of any number is a plus or minus. Huh? Less than plus or minus what? 1. Every. So 2 things, 9 minus 2x is less than 1. First equation. 9 minus 2x is less than. That's the easiest method than the squaring of the quadratics and the graph like that. Clear? So if we solve the first one, minus 2x is less than 1 minus 9. Clear? Minus 2x is less than negative what? Negative 8. When we divide by a negative in inequality, the inequality from all levels changes what? Changes sign.
Changes direction.
So this is direction. So this is now becomes greater than 4. So then let's deal with the second one there. So 9 minus 2x is less than negative 1. So minus 2x is less than minus 9. Okay, minus 1 minus 9. Minus 2x is less than negative 10. Then divide both sides. Again, the direction changes. Greater than, if you divide, that's negative what? Also, that's a positive 5, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So these
Yes,
are
sir.
the two solutions. That's how you do this. The long way is to do quadratic equation, do whatever, draw a graph. That's very, very long. Okay. So now, but it's possible. And also, had you done partial fractions?
Yes, we are done part of the topic.
Okay. And the honest, I believe you have done that. So now let's look at this number 6 here. To do with partial fractions. We say we want to express this in partial fractions. So 6 plus 7x brackets 2x 2 minus x 1 plus x squared. Or 2 minus x 1 plus x squared. What form is this inequality? It's partial fraction. It's a over what? Because we need to identify certain things here. What form is this when you've got 1 plus x? So it's a over, the first one is easy. What about this here?
2.
This part here.
Yeah.
When I have the
bx.
1 plus, what do you do?
It will be bx plus c.
Okay, correct. So bx plus what?
Plus c.
Over 1 plus x. Well, that's why you need to identify the format first. For us to get it correct. So I'm saying 6 plus 7x is equal to a of 1 plus x squared plus bx plus c brackets 2 minus what? Minus x. Heavy? Both of you? So the
Yes, sir.
easiest is to simply let when x is equal to 2. And this whole thing is equal to 0 here. When x is equal to 2, so that this whole thing will be 0 here. When x is equal to 2, that's 6 plus 7 multiplied by 2 is equal to a brackets 1 plus 2 squared. This whole thing is 0. So this gives you what? 14, 6, 20. Do you agree? This is
Yes.
5 here, 5a. Therefore, a is equal to what?
4.
4. Then we've got a bx here. So we can say when x is equal to 0, so that we eliminate the b. So when x is 0, what happens when this is 0? This is 6 is equal to, now 0, it becomes a times 1, which is simply a on this part here. This is 0 here, so it's simply plus c brackets. If this is 0 there, what do we get? 0 there, that's 2, 2c. So we are saying 6 is equal to, what is a? We know it, 4
4.
plus 2c. Therefore, we are saying 2c is equal to 2, because we're saying 6 minus 4. C is what?
1.
Then what we now do, we can use any value, but I would suggest to say use lower values. So for example, I can say when x is equal to 1, lower values are easy. When x is equal to 1, that's 13 is equal to a brackets 1 plus 1 squared, that's 2, plus we're saying there that's 1, so that's b plus c multiplied by, now if you plug 1 here, simply 1. Okay, so that means here we are saying 13 is equal to 2. A, we know it, a is 4 plus b plus c. What is c? C, we know it, c is 1.
1.
like that. So we're saying 13 minus 8 is equal to b plus 1 or c. So that's 5 or plus 1. So we're saying 5 is equal to b plus 1. Also, b is also equal to what? 4.
It's equal to 4.
So now, which means this is the same as 4 over 2 minus x plus b is 4x plus 1 over 1 plus what? X squared. Have it?
Yes, sir.
So we now have that. Now the tricky now is to do this. Show that when x is sufficiently small for x to the power of, I think, x cubed, higher powers can be neglected. And that the function here will reduce to this.
It's x to the power of 4.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Not x to the power of 3. No, he's saying we can neglect, yes. So we're only going up to x cubed. Because for x to the power of 4 and the higher powers, we are saying the value can be neglected. Is that making sense?
Okay, yes, sir.
So that's where it becomes, it's not difficult, just like we do with your integration translation. So now, this here, mathematically should be good in knowing that this is as good as 4 brackets 2 minus x to the power of negative 1. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
The same.
Yes,
Plus 4x plus 1 multiplied by 1 plus x squared to the power of negative what?
1.
Have it? Now we need to do a correction. So the last one is the first one here. We need to do that correction. So remember, we're doing everything up to x cubed. So now let's do that correction there. So 4 brackets. Now we need to divide by 2 here. So this is 1 minus x over 2 to the power of negative. But remember, when I said that, I said we should factor out the 2 outside. So it's like we are factoring out 2. I'm saying 4 multiplied by 2 brackets, that's what I mean. Or I'm factoring out 2 here, 1 minus x over 2. But I said when I raise this also should be raised to the power of what? Like that.
Okay,
Clear? So let's sort out this first. Then you can always add it to the other one. So now that means here I'm saying 4 multiplied by half. Brackets 1 minus x over 2 to the power of negative 1. And 4 times half of 4 is what? Is 2, huh? So 2 brackets, do you agree? There. 1, then we multiply nx this times that gives us plus x over 2. Plus, we have the minus 1 here. So I'm saying minus 1 multiplied by subtract 1, negative 2. Divided by 2 what? Factorial. Brackets, we square this. So minus x over 2 squared. Plus minus 1 multiplied by minus 2 subtracts minus 3. So minus 1 times minus 2 times minus 3 divided by 3 factorial multiplied by minus x over 2 all to the power of 3. Close brackets. Maybe? So that gives us 2 brackets. Let's simplify things. 1 plus x over 2. Simplify this. 2 times that is simply 2. Divided by 2 factorial. I think you get 1 here. Just check in your calculator. Because 2 factorial simply means 2 times 1. So if you get 1 here, then this squared here becomes a positive. So plus x squared over 4. Maybe? Then negative
Yes, sir.
that, yes, person. So negative 1 times
No
that,
question.
that's a positive 2. Multiplied by that, that's negative 3. Divided by 3 factorial, what do you get? So you get negative 1 here. So just check. Minus 1 times that divided by 3 factorial should be minus 1. Do you agree? Minus 1 times, here you get a negative here, because it's the power of an odd number. Negative times negative gives you positive.
-1.
Yeah, so you get x cubed over 8. Then multiply by 2. So you eventually get 2 here. Multiply by that plus x. Multiply here plus x squared over 2 plus x to the power of 3 over 4. So that's our first part here. Clear? Abby, that we will add to this part here. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So we now will go to the next part. 4x plus 1 multiplied by 1 plus x squared to the power of negative 1. So I can simply do this part here. Then I'll multiply by this. Hope it's making sense where we are going. So if we do this part here, it's simply 1 plus nx, we multiply this, we get negative x squared. Plus minus 1 multiplied by that 2 factorial multiplied by, if we square this here, we get x to the power of 2 all squared. But that gives us x to the power of 4. So we don't have even to go further, we'll stop there. Because we should not get to x to the power of 4 either. So now, like that, simplify here, that's 1 minus x squared. This is a positive here. So we get plus x to the power of 4. So is this here that we need to multiply by 4x plus what? Plus 1. Is that making sense? But remember, we only want to get to x to the power of what? 3, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now, let's multiply everything by 4x if I want. That gives me 4x. That gives me minus 4x cubed. 1 times that is a plus. You can actually ignore this, but anyway, let's just put x to the power of 4. We don't want this. So plus, now we are multiplying by this. If we multiply by 1, that does not change. So plus 1 minus x squared, because I'm multiplying by 1 plus x to the power of 4. So this we can remove here. We don't want, we only want to go to x cubed. So we deal with what's the, so we have 1. Then we've got plus 4x minus x squared minus x to the power of 3. Clear? Then the other one that we, the first one, what was it? So that we add them. It was 2 plus x over, okay. So we had 2 plus x squared over 2. So 2 plus x squared plus x cubed over 4. So if we add this here, 1 plus that, we get 3. Yeah? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Then if we add these 2 here, we get plus 5x. Then minus 1 plus half. Isn't that negative half? Minus 1 here, coefficient, plus half. That's negative half. Huh? Do you agree? Then minus 4
Yes, sir.
minus 4 plus a quarter. What do you get? Minus 4 plus a quarter. What do you get?
minus 3 3/4.
Minus 3 3/4. Yeah, but what's
Yes.
that as an improper?
Or as an improper fraction, it's minus 15/4.
Not minus 13/4.
It's 3/4, not 1/4, sir.
Hmm? You said what? Didn't you say minus 3 1/4?
No, I said minus 3 3/4.
Oh, I see. Like this. Was that what they have there? Correct, huh? You had it?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know where your friend Anis is, but your homework now is to do number. You need to submit, yeah, so that I see where you're getting lost. Number 6, 7. Then you tell Anis maybe it's network 6, 7, 8. I just want let me just check my pattern. It's not important. Okay, 6, 7. Then number 9. Number 10. 11. When is our next lesson?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, so you need to work and submit by Wednesday 8 up to number 13.
I'm sorry, sir. When is the homework due?
Due Wednesday 8 a.m. What you do is when you have done it, you're showing all working, you take pictures, maybe then we show you how to do it. Then you convert to PDF because I can only mark PDF. You use your phone has got scanning apps. So it's due Wednesday morning, 8 a.m.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we see.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.